Hi, future Esquires. My name is Diana DeJesus. I'm Miss Law School Guru. I'm also the founder of the Pre-Law Toolbox. It's your go-to resources for all your pre-law and law school admissions journey. And so this video is about mastering the law school application process, your 12-month timeline, especially if you're looking to apply to law school this upcoming fall. So my story to law school admission started off a bit rocky, where I applied to law school twice. So I denied my first cycle, applied my second cycle. And what I determined is it's all about resources. So as I went to law school, graduated, and ended up being a law school admissions director, I gained great insight into the exact tools you need to be successful. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and get notified on all the upcoming videos I have for you to help you be very successful in your law school endeavor. Let's dive into each month. So let's start off with January. So in January, there's two key to-do lists you have is to one, you want to research your law schools. Okay, so the power of your application is determining which schools are best for you to maximize your success in law school. So not every law school is going to be for you. There's 200 plus law schools that are American Bar Association approved, or if you're looking to go to school in California, they have California Bar approved law schools. And so you want to identify key elements of the law school in terms of their admission process. So when is their admission deadline? Are they enrolling admission to law school? Do they have a priority deadline? What kind of materials do they require from you? What number of recommendation letters? So you really want to start researching law schools, create a spreadsheet where you can keep all the law schools information in an organized way, and it will allow you to prepare for the key pieces when you're ready to submit the application in the fall. And also, you want to start exploring what it means to apply to law school, the actual process. And so you can do so by going to lawschooladmissionscouncil.org, also known as LSAC. So that is the entity that you will sign up through for the LSAT. And then also they create a clearinghouse where you will apply to law schools through their respective system. And so they have wonderful resources that allow you to understand what it means to apply to law school, the process, how to gather all your materials, what are the materials that are required. And then that will give you a good foundation when you go throughout the cycle. February is when you start identifying when you plan to take the LSAT, when you have a specific date. So if you're taking the LSAT in the summer months, or you're taking the LSAT in the fall months, you want to reverse engineer, basically work backwards to identify the best study schedule. So in February, you want to look at the upcoming dates. Law School Admissions Council, the LSAT deadlines to sign up tend to come very quickly, and they're usually 2 months in advance. For example, if you're looking to take the June 2024 LSAT or any June LSAT, they usually have the deadline around April. And so you really want to be proactive in getting familiar with the deadline. So in February, your key to-do list is to identify not only when you plan on taking the LSAT, but crafting a realistic LSAT study plan. On average, people spend about 3 to 6 months studying for the LSAT. So whether you're doing self-study or you're doing any specific commercial exam or commercial prep program, you still want to give yourself ample time to prepare. So February, it's all about LSAT prep. March, 2 specific tasks for you. So the first one is this is when you're going to start doing practice exams for the LSAT or practice problems. Okay. And so as you get comfortable with the LSAT, make sure you notate all of the different scores that you earned, notate the areas of the LSAT practice exam that you're seeing more strength, where you see more weakness that you have to focus on. You really want to start doing the drills, right? Take a diagnostic exam in March. You want to see what your starting number is. Don't feel overwhelmed about that. You need to understand what your starting number is so you can measure that growth. Everybody has a starting number. So don't feel like you have to study to do a diagnostic. Just rip the Band-Aid off and see where you need to begin. And if you are a college student, so you're a college senior or you're a graduate and you have to, or a graduate student and you're looking to graduate this summer and you're still in school and looking to apply in the fall, this is a pivotal time to ask for letters of recommendation. Why specifically for college students is because professors tend to be unoccupied, not available during the summer because they're doing their own research or they're traveling, or their contract may not require them to be available for the summer months, which means that if you're looking to get a letter recommendation before the end of the semester, you want to be very mindful of professor schedules and ask them around early March. That includes, doing the initial contact, asking if they are available to write a letter recommendation, why you are seeking them as a recommender. Maybe you had them as a professor for multiple classes. You've done very well in their classes. Maybe you served as a teaching assistant for them or a research assistant. Either way, you want to be mindful of professor schedules because you do not want to be asking them for a letter recommendation toward the end of the semester when they have finals and papers to grade. So I feel that March, especially early March, is a good way to start that conversation, and that gives you ample time to check in before the end of the semester. So in April, in addition to continuing your LSAT prep, you also want to start creating and paying for the LSAC CAS services. So what happens is when you sign up for the LSAT, you create an account through LSAC, and that account is free if you're going to sign up for the LSAT. However, if you want to start creating the services where LSAC gathers your transcripts and makes a official document that gives a synthesized insight into your academic performance, they help with the compiling of all your application pieces, and they have all the electronic versions of the applications in their CAS services. And so the fee tends to be around $185 to $200 to create the account, but this is the time where you want to explore signing up. That way you don't have to rush to create that account as you get closer to the fall. When it comes to May through June is continuing your LSAT prep. You want to also start thinking about personal statement, thinking about the essay pieces of your application and your resume. And so May through June, LSAT prep, or May through July, LSAT prep, taking the LSAT in June if you're signing up for the June one, preparing for the August and September ones. You really want to just be drilling into LSAT prep those months. In July, if you are more of a non-traditional student, meaning that you have extensive amount of work experience or you have about more than 3 years outside of college, your letters of recommendation may look different. So you want to start approaching whether it's a current supervisor, it's a former supervisor, it is maybe a professor you're still in contact with if you have that opportunity, or members of the community. You want to choose your recommenders that best speak to your character and fitness and your preparation for law school. And so you can start asking for those recommendation letters in July if you don't have a professor who may not be available. And so July, you want to start getting a letters of recommendation, reviewing your resume, and then again, thinking of topics for your essays. August is a heavy focus on the writing the pieces of the application beyond the exam and beyond the LSAT. And so this is personal statement, your resume, if you choose to do a diversity or lived experience essay, and then any optional essays that the law school requires or suggests, that you want to complete. You're going to do that in August. Now, personal statement crafting can be more than 30 days, but I really suggest you spend quality time on each essay. And so August, you want to start writing those essays. You want to start mapping out. You want to start looking at the law school list that you created back in January to see what their personal statement requirements are, because you do need to tailor your personal statements to the respective schools, respecting their specific instructions, the page limit, the font size, all of that. So August is when you start crafting these essays and then referring back to the instructions to ensure that you're meeting them. September, which is my favorite month, is my birthday month. So anybody who has a September birthday, shout out to you. This is a big month for law school admissions because this is where a lot of the law schools have their applications go live. Okay, so September, October, you start seeing law school applications start opening up on LSAC. So in this month, you want to make sure that you are finalizing your essays, you are having people read them, giving you insight, polishing them, editing them, making them very appealing to a potential applicant reader. You just want to make sure all your pieces are absolutely as flawless as possible, because the application cycle is competitive and you don't want to have it where it's an essay that's filled with a lot of grammatical errors, or an essay that you can tell is not polished. Any of your essays, not just your personal statement. And so you just want to make sure you gather all the materials, you upload, you categorize them based on school. Like I said, for August, you want to just make sure every essay is where it needs to be. And then you gather all your materials and you start preparing to submit your application. October is when you can start engaging with law school representatives. Law school representatives tend to be on the road, which means they are recruiting. So recruiting events start to pick up September through November. So I've recruited at my fair share of events, traveling nationally from New York to LA to Miami. And so there are different ways that you can engage with law school admission representatives. That includes law fairs, career fairs. LSAC has forums that happen all throughout the fall. And so October is a great opportunity to map out your calendar for any virtual events, in-person events, open houses, and just great opportunities to engage with the admissions office. October also a month where other law schools start having their applications go live. And then that is a great way to have all your materials finalized, uploaded to LSAC, and you've started to apply to the respective law schools on your list. Okay. Some of your law schools on your list might be narrowed down because you visited schools and maybe they're not for you, maybe they are for you, but you will be able to navigate the application process more confidently because you got a chance to explore the schools beyond their website, and by meeting their admission staff as well at these recruiting events. November, if you haven't already submitted your application, November deadlines might include an early decision, maybe some early scholarship. So you really want to make sure if you're looking to be competitive, you want to apply by the end of November before the big Thanksgiving time period rush, right? Because usually applicants tend to take the LSAT in the summer and the fall, and some push off to January of the following year. So for you to be advantageous and competitive for you, you want to have everything in by November. Even if you plan on taking another LSAT, you still want all your materials in by November so you can just sit back, wait. It allows you to, address any concerns with your application, such as maybe you didn't do the character and fitness part of it thoroughly, maybe you forgot to answer a question. It just gives you ample time to let the application get processed, because it's a whole process to get your application submitted, processed by the law school, and LSAC has to send their CAS report to the law school. So there's a lot of technical sides to applying. So by having it done in November gives you that confidence and that freedom to submit everything, and now you just wait. And now we have December. So with December, you either start hearing back from law schools if you did the early decision process. You might start seeing application deadlines come up for scholarship opportunities. But December is a time where you wait. You might get decisions in December. Maybe you have an opportunity to visit law schools that you are considering, but you might start getting requests for interviews. So not all law schools do interviews, but should you get invited, you'll probably hear some information around that month. And so that is a 12-month timeline. It's a general timeline, but it is a great one to follow to prepare for the application process if you plan to apply to law school in the fall. And so if you're looking for additional resources and tools, please check the links below. These are wonderful opportunities for you to feel confident and get exactly what you need throughout the law school application process, and not make the same mistakes that I did because of lack of resources when I was applying to law school. So again, if you like this video and you want more law school admission advice, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you have any questions, please make sure you comment below, and I will certainly answer them in an upcoming video. I'll see you next time.